Send it all to Wesley. Let him do the editing.
I feel like Wesley editing us would also edit himself and going, "Oh God damn it, I messed it up." And for some reason, he's recording himself while he's
editing it.
Oh, no, the podcast goes out, and it's just a recording of him editing the podcast.
But then forgetting he's recording,
shuffling around like eating chips. It's like, I just thought I told Ma to get the Ruffles. She got the plain chips. I wanted the Ruffles. Some.
Just him ordering food
I'm
at a
still
restaurant.
not on the Discord, by the way. I would just kind of like to point that out. About 2 episodes ago, I found out we had one, and I asked, "Hey, can I be added?" And you guys were like, "Yeah, sure."
What Discord?
We have a Discord?
Not really.
We don't have a Discord. Oh, Wesley. You mean Wesley? Yeah. Are you still doing a Wesley impression, or?
Oh no!
We don't. We don't have a Discord.
That's my thing. That's what sets me apart on this podcast. We each have our own personalities, and I'm the one that doesn't do Wesley impressions.
Dang.
You're welcome, Mr.
Discord?
Crusher.
We don't have a Discord.
Oh,
wait, have we even done the intro yet?
No. Hi, I'm Bobby.
While to do the intro, I'm Pete, and this is a disaster. But happy Pride Month, everyone! I feel like you can
podcast.
All of this is just part of the podcast now.
I feel like you can.
It is.
Yeah, I feel like you can just make up for a lot of errors this month of being like, oh shoot, happy Pride Month.
Yeah.
That's the episode. Goodbye.
Yeah.
All right. See ya. Oh God, that was an easy one, man. Time really flew. 1 hour.
Yeah.
Hell yeah,
man. But we're getting better. We're knocking these out.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
If they were 5-minute clips, we could get on and like record an hour and then just chop it up and just have like 30 episodes done right there.
And that's our TikTok.
Yeah, I feel like that's how what's his name? The guy that writes the Born Supremacy books does.
He just like writes one book and then just chops it up into like 10, and he's like, all right, I'm good for this decade.
He chops it up into 10 and then he just hands it to interns and he's like, make this a book. They're like, It just says page 32.
So welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Pride Month. This is episode 117 of Those Muckrakers.
Nice.
I am Pat.
I'm Pete.
I'm Bobby.
And Pete, tell them what we are going to be celebrating in this episode.
Well, today I'd like to celebrate the wonderful people of Texas with a story about liberal gun control run amok.
Liberal gun control run amok. We've had a lot of news out of Texas this month or this week.
So this story has layers, and when I say liberal gun control run amok, I mean that in the most sarcastic way possible. So this
damn liberals trying to take my guns.
This neighbor this lady opens her door, and her boxer puppy, as big goofy boxer dogs do, escapes out of the yard and begins doing what puppies do, which is like, I'm gonna run until I fall down. So it's like this big cute floppy dog running. Well, the lady's neighbor goes, a puppy.
Is that a dog? Right on cue.
So
yeah, that's my roommate's dog. I'm sorry.
So the neighbor running.
He heard dog run amok. He was just following orders.
So the neighbor outside with her toddler.
Sorry.
I understand it's hard when it's a song about dogs. It's a story about dogs. So the neighbor comes out with the toddler and a gun and just starts plinking away at the boxer puppy in a residential neighborhood where other people are out and about just living their lives.
At it like in the general direction to scare it, or actually trying to shoot it?
A couple of the bullets grazed the dog's leg. One of the bullets ricocheted and shot her own kid. Luckily, the kid.
Wait. So shot the kid of the person with the gun, or the owner of the dog?
The gun owner shot their own child.
Good. Fuck them. It's Darwinism at its best. Live by the gun, die by the gun.
Unfortunately, the child lived. Fortunately, the dog lived. Anyway,
on Those Muckrakers, we are pro child death.
This comes at a time in which Texas is saying that you don't need any kind of like licensing or registration just to open carry anywhere. Now, I thought you were already allowed to do that in Texas. I was confused by that.
Pretty sure you could.
I think do that everywhere. It's just not necessarily legal.
Right. I mean, I thought it was legal in Texas. You could just be like, I got 6 guns on me and I'm going to go to Wendy's.
Yeah. Like I know in Georgia, open carry definitely exists. I don't know if you have to have a license for it or what, but I have a lot of relatives that just walk around with guns.
As far as I understand,
on display all the time.
So one of the biggest problems with the open carry, concealed carry, and all this kind of stuff is actually where Republicans sort of get into, we need to do some like gun control because, you're not allowed to conceal carry in Illinois, but what if you're just driving through the state?
Yeah.
Like, and so South Carolina, actually for a little while there banned Georgia concealed carry permits, even though South Carolina and Georgia are both redity red. And because they were like, no, we think Georgia's law is not right. So no, you can't do it. Hi, buddy. I'm really sorry.
Yeah, that's
squeaking. I gave you the bone.
They call it the holy grail of the crazy Ted Nugent gun rights people. The concealed carry reciprocity that they're trying to pass federally, which would mean that if I go down to like Whistle Dick, Georgia, and get my concealed carry permit, that I can go to New York City on the subway with my guns. And nobody wants that.
Yeah,
terrible idea.
Well, especially people on the New York subway.
Exactly.
The right only believes in states' rights when it allows them to be, bigger bigots towards people. Like, if we can hate more people than we like it, states' rights. You can't tell us to let gay people come into our restaurant. But, whenever it comes to like guns and stuff, it's like, oh, murder people. Hell yeah. Oh, unless it's an unborn child. Once it has a heartbeat, you got to let it live till it's born. Then fuck it.
Yeah, then shoot it. So, so speaking of gay people and Pride Month, Pride is I can't blame Pride for this, but Pride Month is already ruining. I'm in a bunch of Facebook like fan groups for stuff like people that like the movie Alien and talk about which Alien movies suck, and
running it as in you're starting to discover which people you really don't want to be in a group with.
Well, it's just basically during Pride Month, anybody that's a bigot apparently is compelled to tell you how and why they're a bigot, and it's just shocking. I don't know if there was a liar type.
Is this one of those like I ain't a homophobe, but they say like the most homophobic thing
I
ever.
I heard a thing I'd never heard today where they referred to LGBTQ plus people as the alphabet people.
I've heard that a lot.
I'd never heard that insult before.
And it's also instead of LGBTQCA plus whatever, you just substituted. And my phone has done this as well. It just auto corrects to all caps quilt bag, and
that's
so
actually pretty great.
There is, however, and I don't know who started this or how much there is behind it, but there is a push. It's kind of small right now, and I don't know how much I agree with it, to stop referring to things as like adding on an extra letter to the end of LGBT every single time someone comes up and goes, well, I'm trisexual. Okay, we're adding another T. Like, no, don't do that. They want to switch over. I believe it's GSM, gender and sexual minorities.
GSM.
I honestly would have been like
GRSM. I think the R might be like romantic minorities. And that's where I don't like it, because that slips in and people can go like, oh, well, they're welcoming to pedophiles. Like,
whenever you say, well, I like the romantic bit because we're always saying that it's about love. It's not about sex. And a lot of people say you can't talk about gay people because kids shouldn't be knowing about sex that early. It's like, it's not about sex. It's about love. We're trying to show the different people can be in love in different ways. So I prefer to just leave sex out of the equation.
It's either Denmark or Norway. It's always one of the Scandinavian countries. Could be Iceland. I'm not sure. They actually do. They start basic consent, like good touch, bad touch, tell your parents if this happens type thing in kindergarten,
which you should do. There's a whole movement right now to tell people to.
Well, it's also the Scandinavian countries have the lowest rate of teen pregnancies and one of the lowest abortion rates overall, and it's because they start sex ed so early and they really push contraception.
Well, there was a whole...
You'd be amazed at how effective education is at getting people to do the right things and act the right ways. Like in America, in our crazy fucking abstinence only education is also, you never talk about it until they're 30 years old, and then you can start bringing it up. And you see the results.
Texas went over to abstinence only, within 5 years, they led the country in teen pregnancies and led the country in repeat teen pregnancies.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because it's just it's
that
education.
shit doesn't work.
You gotta know.
Well, I know you want to educate the kids, but what if we did the opposite? Do you think that would get them to act more intelligently?
So
Your book learning.
So I've been talking recently. I was doing a lot of reading up on Pride Month, and I got to say, I do have one gripe with Pride Month, and my gripe is the flags. I was reading about because there's a flag for everybody like under Pride, but I feel like everyone's really slacking on making cool flags, and I just think if you ever have the chance
to be more creative.
Yeah, if you ever have your chance to make a flag, like go off the stripe motif. The lesbians did it. The lesbian flag, I believe it's like a purple flag with a black triangle, and inside the triangle is a double-headed axe.
Oh, cool.
Everyone else just went with some variation of stripes, and I'm like, how many stripes do I have to read about? Like, get a fucking axe. That's so cool. Like, you guys.
Well, I particularly love. I love the flag for the Bears. That's one of my favorite ones because it's the stripe motif, and I think it's like brown, orange, yellow, white, and then there's just a paw print in the middle of it. Which bear is not like bear is a sexual attraction, not a gender
thing. Yeah,
truly, bears are not oppressed, but any more than any other gay people are, or queer people rather. But at the same time, it's just dope. I love the bear flag. I have been told that I'm a bear. I don't accept that. I'm not a bear. Because I don't think I'm old enough. I'm only in my 30s, guys.
Well, I mean,
I think like, if you're hairy enough, rather.
I think don't they just
if you're I have the beard. I don't really have. I mean, I have body hair, but it's not like.
Then you should just start
I've watched a lot of gay porn, and I really don't think I'm a bear.
Well, I think now these days, I think if you're,
I would say a cub, but then that sounds like wrong. So maybe wolf.
Well, no, that some dudes do. I mean, there is also cub pride. There is that, and then wolf. There's otters. Otters are a svelte gentleman who is hairy, because whenever they get up out of the pool, they look like an otter. Then yeah, like right. And it's whenever you don't think to look for it, but then whenever you hear that nomenclature and that description of it, you're like, oh,
okay,
yeah, they kind of do. And then there's bulls. Bulls are like a dude who's like jacked but has like a pot belly, so like a roid belly guy would be a bull. And there's just so many different things. It's don't call us the alphabet people, call us the animal people.
Animal people.
I don't like that. That makes me feel bad
as a furry
too.
I'd love the idea of just being an animal person.
I had an idea for a flag for poly people. Why not like a Cthulhu like entity with a whole bunch of different like genitalia on the end of its tentacles, just embracing a whole bunch of people, right?
Well, and that's like as a bisexual, like coming out to people, because bisexuals we blend into the woodwork, which I'm going to get to. But I've had straight people just go, "Oh, that's so cool." So like, you don't care about people's genitals, and I was like, no, I care about people's genitals. He goes, yeah, but you like both. I'm like, okay, well, first of all, everyone's genitalia is different. Even for cis people, everyone's genitalia is different. That needs to be a children's book. Every penis is different. Like
every penis is different.
It's
there
so
are
true.
big ones, there are small ones,
it'd be like a journey through the Mario Kingdom.
Skinny dicks
just
with
show all
big
the
heads.
different.
There are big dicks with skinny heads. It's that's a Dr. Seuss book that never got written.
The places will blow.
Someone should really just start a line of gay Seuss books and just like just Dr. Seuss goes just to like educate like kids about like like LGBTQ stuff. That would be awesome.
Yes.
Oh goodness.
But my original point was just like all the dumb arguments have come out in this alien group because somebody posted a photo of blowing the alien out of the airlock from the movie, and someone goes, "This is what should happen to all intolerant homophobes and transphobes." Yay!
Nice. Yeah.
And then it started the whole like, they can be gay. I just wish they wouldn't talk to me about it so much. Why has it got to get political? You know,
well, and I think you'll find that no one thinks more about gay people don't think more about gay sex than homophobes do. Like it's for
homophobes wake up, the first thing on their minds is, oh, that penis and that ass. They're just so mad, like ready to go and yell about it.
It's just like all the dumb arguments like came out, and like all the stupid like
nothing like a good flame war on a fan page.
And my favorite thing right now is the right has claimed George Orwell, which is the height of irony. I know they haven't read Orwell. I'm 100% sure they have not read 1984. But
no. It's the three. It's the Bible, the Second Amendment, and 1984 are the three things that everyone argues about, but no one has fucking read. Like it's, and George Orwell, who straight up said, yeah, no, guys, if you wanted to peg my, we're talking about gay stuff, pegging.
I thought that's where you were going. I was like, oh, this is an Orwell quote I haven't
wanted
heard.
to peg my politics, I would say that I'm a democratic socialist. Like, he and AOC would be like besties. He wouldn't understand a lot of what she was talking about. And, but he'd be like, yeah, oh, that's great. Look, a woman in power as well. Like,
and Orwell was also like, Orwell said, if you want to peg my ass, meet me after the book signing.
Exactly. Meet me in the Edgar Allan Poe Memorial Pegging Lounge.
Or in the Walt Whitman wing of the library.
There we go.
But speaking
of
the
dog's knocking stuff off the table to get my attention. Hi, Ben. Yeah. You guys want to see Ben? Hey, Ben, come here.
Absolutely, we are pro dog on this podcast.
Hey,
what a cute boy. Sorry for those of you only listening, but there's a really cute boy on the camera.
Watch us on YouTube. Find us on YouTube. Those Muckrakers.
Yeah, you should watch us on YouTube.
And then you can see cute dogs.
And the YouTubes. So basically, I can't go to the Alien fan page for the rest of Pride Month because my brain's going to explode.
Well, that's why you need to get on Facebook group that is absolutely fucking phenomenal is Star Trek shit posting. And you got to find the big
I feel like
There's
Wesley
a lot
would
of
love
them that
that
are called
Star Trek
shit posting, but the big group, holy fuck. So the other day, some fucking forehead got on there and was just like, it was just like, oh, all these girls pretending to like Star Trek started a 3-week-long cosplay a palooza. Just women coming out of the woodwork going, I guess I don't exist, and like a great fucking like tall
when it comes to
outfit. Like
when it comes to media like that, some people only see two genders, male and political. If you're not a guy, then they're just like, someone just has an agenda to try and shoehorn them in there. That's my
favorite thing too. They talk about the gay agenda. I'm like, do you mean the agenda where they're like, please leave us alone and let us live our lives as we see fit?
Also, brunch.
Yeah, that fucking agenda.
But all the people that are saying, I wish they just weren't so out there about it. I feel like visibility is the most important thing, because when people know you exist, it's a lot harder to kill you when no one's looking.
Yeah. Well, and that's like I do. I used to have a set when one of my sets on stand up was so I'm bisexual. I know. Calm down. I would like all of you to know that I believe in you. And I trust you and I love you, but please keep all of this monosexual bullshit out of my face. I'm tired of seeing it on television. I'm tired of hearing about it on the radio. And what you do in the privacy of your own home is fine, but if God and baby Jesus didn't want us to fuck both men and women and everybody in between in glorious fucking orgasmic sex, he wouldn't have made it feel so good. I'm really sorry. That's just facts, Sweaty. Sorry.
It wouldn't fit together so easily like Legos. Like
I do love how people have started, like, if somebody's going off the rails, they just go, all right, Sweaty, calm down. Like, I love that so much, from the misspelling of sweetie to sweaty. Like, I just, oh my God.
I'll tell you the greatest thing I ever learned as a young man who was, out to sleep with as many women as possible is go to gay bars. Like straight dudes, especially like super brotastic dudes wearing tap out shirts, are terrified of gay bars. And there are like tons of like single.
But you got to be careful with that, because I was on a date with a guy. This is back in Louisiana. I was on a date with a guy, and I really like, nightclubs are not really my scene, and that's most gay bars are nightclubs. which I definitely want to get into the gay bar scene for a second, but so I was there with this guy. Like, we have been making out like at the bar. Like, this is a new relationship. We're still sort of, ripping, raring to go. We don't hate each other yet. It was only the first 3 days. It hadn't been a week
the honeymoon
yet.
phase,
And,
the first week of a relationship where things don't suck.
The first 3 days, it hadn't been a week yet, so we weren't at each other's throats. But
exactly.
All of a sudden, this woman comes up and taps me on the shoulder and goes, "We know why you're here." And I went,
"Oh,
because I'm on a date." And she goes, "No, blah 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 blah." Turns out some dude who I turned down on like one of the early dating apps because I'm old, told all the women there that I was just pretending to be bisexual so that I could get the straight women who go to the gay bar for safety drunk and then take them home and rape them. So I had 2 drinks spilled on me that night. I told the manager about it, and the manager, basically, that guy had been causing problems at the bar before, and so he like kicked him out, and like all these fucking straight women were like super pissed at me. I didn't do anything. I was literally, they were calling me a fake gay. I was there with a chubby that you could see grabbing another dude's chubby while we made out. Like, yeah, straight dudes do that all the time. They do, especially the ones that rape. The ones that rape do that all the time.
I was unaware of. I was just like,
that comes to a thing that I wanted to talk about Pride is happy Bi Pride as well. I think it's actually Bisexual Week is next week, I think, but there's a huge.
They need to. The bisexual flag needs to be improved too. It's the purple flag, which is cool, but put like, I don't know, a screaming eagle or something on
purple,
it, or a sword.
Purple, pink, and blue, and I think it definitely needs like a velociraptor giving everyone the finger while holding an AK-47.
I was just going to say a daisy chain of just genitalia and crevices,
giving everyone the
finger
while like sipping tea with the bird hand, and then like the AK-47 firing with the other one.
Exactly. No, so within the gay community, within the LGBTQ within the sexual minorities, there is and has been a fairly long and prevalent, basically, well, it's systematic, but it's called bisexual erasure.
Right.
Basically, oh, okay, Sweaty, you're not actually bisexual. You're just on bisexual airlines on the way to Gay Town. And I'm like, no, Sweaty, I'm a flight attendant on bisexual airlines.
Right.
And while a lot of people do identify as bisexual before coming out as gay, bisexuals actually do exist. And there was a lot of pushback for that. Like, I at the age of 32, I had some guy in a gay bar tell me, "Oh, sweetie, it's not high school anymore. You can just come out." I'm like, pretty sure I've been out since I was 20, and I'm pretty sure that I fuck women. Like, I could exclusively date women. If my dick still gets hard for dudes, that makes me bisexual.
Right.
I could exclusively date men, and if my dick still gets hard for women, that still makes me bisexual. Like, yeah, it's not a pick or choose. But no, so bisexual erasure is a really big problem, but a larger problem within the LGBTQ community. God, there's so many problems, but the racism.
Well, didn't they make the Stonewall movie a few years ago, and then everyone in the movie
movie fucking blew.
Everyone was magically white in the movie, right?
No. It was that. Okay, so hashtag the first Pride was a riot. No one died at Stonewall.
They were fucking up cops.
Was basically the cops were shutting down the gay bar, and a bunch of queer and trans Black women decided to do something about it. The movie decided to make the person who rallied the troops a straight acting white,
which is
dude.
Like just wow. You know what I mean? Like,
it just so a lot of people. It's like why whenever you knew that was and we knew that this was going to be like a dramatization, not a documentary. But when and they were like, well, we didn't want to upset mainstream audiences. I'm like, yeah, but then you immediately alienate the built-in audience.
I'm gonna just say this.
Immediately alienate them.
I'm just gonna say this. Who gives a fuck about the mainstream audience?
In 1975, they made a documentary about the life of Martin Luther King Jr. and to not offend the sensibilities of white people made him a white man. Like it's
What?
well, no, and that
Wait,
has
really?
happened. That has happened. There
I
is
hadn't heard about that.
No,
there's a
insane.
play about the life of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and some fucking
Starring a
theater
white guy?
department had a white guy play Martin Luther King Jr. They
A
were like,
theater department.
well,
I was thinking like
Alexander Hamilton wasn't black. Yeah, but Hamilton the musical wasn't a fucking docudrama. It was a fucking fanfic, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
There's a Genghis Khan movie starring John Wayne as Genghis Khan.
yeah.
They
there is.
actually taped his eyes to make him look more Asian.
Well, it wasn't tape, it was blue. Yeah,
Or glue.
but yeah, it's yeah.
Well, I also kind of happy. I think that's the movie that they think killed him, because it was filmed near where they tested the nuclear bombs, and everyone from that movie got irradiated, and then they all died of cancer. So fuck John Wayne. But yeah, no, that's the thing. Like the Stonewall riots, yeah, they're like, what if we made a white guy the dude?
Yeah. Yeah. No, but so anyway, within the LGBTQ community, there is a huge problem with racism. I don't have a solution for it. I'm mostly just trying to point it out because I don't know our audience demographics, but a lot of
I think our audience demographic is Wesley and people who just stray onto this podcast.
They have autoplay on and they end up in that part of YouTube.
Yeah.
So back last summer, I was chatting with a friend of mine, and I like posted something about like, this white lady says that she loves Black Lives Matter on her front lawn, called the cops on some black kids down the street. Like, and my friend just posted back WMWP, and I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And he just goes, well-meaning white people. Like, there's a lot of well-meaning straight people who don't understand, like, okay, first of all, you need to understand that every gay Republican is a sloppy bottom. Okay, but just like with black people, gay people are not a monolith, and there is a fuck ton of racism and a fuck ton of sexism in especially the white gay male community. But there's a fuck ton of racism. It's like one dude messaged me on Grindr one time. He was like, hey, what's going on? And I like looked at his profile and it said, no fats, no femmes, no blacks, sorry. And I just went,
no thanks.
I don't know if I'm masculine enough for you. I also don't know if I'm white enough for you. Like, I don't have, I have as much black in me as Christopher Columbus, but like, it's, but then he went on to say, oh, well, that's okay. I'll make an exception. I'm like, do you realize your racist ass is on display right now? Like, you'll make an exception. And then he called me his dusky jewel, which I had to look up. And turns out it was like a line said on the show Archer, some old racist white dude who was trying to get it on with Lana, the black character, called her his dusky jewel. I was like, is this, am I like a tourist attraction for you? Is that what this is? You'll fuck people who aren't lily white, but you won't date them? What are you on this site for?
I honestly, like, every day I learn something new. Being born like a straight white male, there's so much I've never ever had.
And you were born there in Southeast Georgia, so
there's so much stuff I've never had to worry about, and probably will never have to worry about. And just I'm constantly like amazed by like just the complex like social physics equations that like marginalized people have to go through just to fucking get through the day. I'm like, fucking hell.
Yeah.
Like, you got to do math just to go to the grocery store? Like, fucking shit, man.
Yeah. Well, no, and people are very serious whenever, like, I just posted on my Facebook, happy Pride Month, everybody. If your family rejects you, congratulations. I'm now your uncle. I will invite me to all of your family functions, and I will make the homophobes and or transphobes just as fucking uncomfortable as I possibly can.
It reminds me of what I consider I had a pivotal white man moment. In the theater
community,
is
white boy summer.
In the theater community, especially recently, there's been a huge push to get more marginalized people into roles, which is amazing. And there was a really cool writing internship or something that I had all the I checked all the boxes for.
Or trans drone pilots of color.
Yeah, I was like, I'd love to apply to this, and then it said like, we're really only looking for like people of color, trans people, like basically like
for you too.
Am I freezing?
Yeah, you froze
Yeah.
right in the middle where you raised your hand.
Oh, sorry. I was saying that basically, like, I had all the chops to get in, but then they were like, we're looking basically like for, you know, people of color, trans people, like, so they kind of like marginalized people that generally don't get a chance at these kind of like writing internships. And I was just looking at my computer screen and went, that's not fair that I can't do a thing because I was born how I am. And then I went, oh, that's how everyone else has felt always,
Oh.
forever, on everything. And
Yeah. Now imagine that, but every time you go to apply for something.
Yeah, imagine
Yeah.
that.
There's just like
anything.
one thing versus if it was all of the things.
Yeah,
That's what a lot of people don't. That's what a lot of people don't know. And I wish more straight people would tell the homophobes that they know, is that like in the state of Georgia, I can be denied a lease. I can be evicted. I can be denied a bank loan. I can be denied service at a restaurant or something. And all the owner has to say, the only justification they have to make is, that's my firmly held religious belief, is that gay people can't have this cake.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's yeah. So
it's
but
frustrating.
that's still a thing. That's still a thing. If I were to tell you that in the state of Georgia, you can be evicted from your home because the landlord doesn't rent to Black people, we would burn the state to the ground. But it's totally fine. It's totally fine.
There's
according
also
to Republicans. It's
there's
totally fine to do that to gay people.
There's a term my fiance recently enlightened me to that blew my mind, because we watch a lot of true crime, and it's a term I'd never heard before. It's called the less than dead. So there are groups of people like trans people that when they are murdered, the cops really aren't bothered with looking for them.
Black trans folks.
Yeah, you know, especially
Yes.
there's certain intersections that are even worse. Like if you happen to be a Black trans sex worker and you are murdered, they're just like, you know, Thursday, let's go get lunch. And so they're called the less than dead because there's been serial killers that have preyed on these people, and generally the serial killers get into like the double digits where someone goes, hey, should we look for who's doing this?
Nope.
Yeah. And it's called the less than dead. And I'm like, how horrific. If I was murdered, the first thing I want is that scene from Red Dawn where I'm just like, avenge me.
That's why it's so important for them not to just, for anyone in the LGBTQ plus community, to not just shut up and disappear because it makes straight people uncomfortable. They really need to be as visible as they feel comfortable being, because then it becomes a lot harder to just murder them and get away with it. Because once people know that they exist, and once you start to know how many people you know fall into that category, it becomes harder and harder for homophobes to just dismiss them as this fringe crazy group, or something that never really existed in the first place. It's just like a media construct or a liberal agenda. That's all it is. It's not real people. But once more people know that they exist, it's harder to just like mass murder them like they've been doing in Europe lately.
Yeah, like Europe's getting really, I mean, as dangerous as the United States is, Europe is Europe and Russia are doing the whole like, hey, what if it's been a while since we just rounded up a group of people and murdered them, right?
Mm-hmm. Jim Sterling has recently come out as a non-binary, and they say it's fine to still call them Jim Sterling. Their current name is James Stephanie Sterling, but they're good with either name. Either way, they said that their backup plan all these years, if they were ever found out, was to flee back to Europe where they had come from, right? Because they they immigrated over to America. They got their citizenship, but they could still flee if things got too bad over here. But it's gotten much worse in Europe. So now they're like, oh, well, fuck me then.
I feel like just fleeing to Australia, creating a safe, just LGBTQ plus enclave in the middle of the outback, and then, you know, shooting a homophobe anytime they come bother you. It would be the best thing I could figure out.
Yeah, and there is even from like
Bobby, I think you got muted.
Yeah, I'm muted. Oh. Sorry, the dog needs to go outside.
I thought that you were like trying to make a dramatic point, because now you're like standing up, just like.
No, but like on that point, it's like you know, the same thing about, oh, everybody dumps on the South, where there are actually like marginalized people here that need help. And it's this sort of thought of like, if I could just, you know, oh, I love Black people. If I could just take all of the Black people in the world and buy a farm and just let them run around and play on it. Like, no, I'd like to stay in my home. Thank you. Yeah. I would like, you know, I would like to stay here and help fight, because you want to know why is Black people find community in the color of their skin. Gay people and bisexual people and even trans people can blend into the woodwork. Some of us are passing, and I think that brings me back to my point about bisexual erasure. I get some of it, because just by the numbers, bisexuals are far more likely to end up with a partner of the opposite gender, or a cishet gender, opposite the cishet gender they were born, and blend into the heteronormative woodwork. So I can understand some of the resentment that some gay people have for bisexuals, and it's also but it's completely uncalled for. However, the thing about it is there's a gay person born every day, and it's if we moved all the gay people who are alive right now to California, more gay people would be created, and they may not have the ability to get to that state even.
Well, just the argument is everybody should be able to live their lives in the way they see fit, no matter, just because you're a person, you should have person rights, and so
long as you're not hurting another person, which I'm very sorry, your religion is not something that can pain you. You are the person making that up in your head. I'm sorry, I don't even know if either of you guys are religious, but religion just really fucking pisses me off.
If you would listen to our previous podcast, I am pretty certain that we would very much hurt the feelings of the religious majorities. Because also I was raised in the Bible. I feel like the bane of the Bible, because anybody that my family won't even debate me anymore, because I'm just you merely adopted the Bible. I was oppressed by it, molded by it. Man, I will talk to you for 2 hours about how your opinion about the Bible is stupid, and then I will come up with Bible verses to back up my point, even though I don't agree with the Bible or organized religion.
When your opinion of the Bible is destroyed and all you've ever believed is in ruins, then you have my permission to die.
Oh yeah, exactly. So I want to do this. I know it's not the end of the show, but I wanted to do there's a
we
Dear
have 15 minutes.
There's a Dear Wesley I wanted to share out real quick.
I didn't do my news.
Oh, go
yeah.
So if you want to get
segments.
Just a quick alert to everybody out there. Chick-fil-A is back on their bullshit.
What are they doing now that
so it's funding dark money campaigns basically and super PACs to sort of reinvigorate the gay panic bullshit. And so if you're still eating at Chick-fil-A, congratulations, you're killing queer people. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy the waffle fries. Yeah, but if my background here, so it's 3 drag queens. It's Vicky, Detox, and Willem. 3 amazing dudes, and they have a song called "Chow Down at Chick-fil-A." Highly recommend you check it out. It is absolutely fucking beautiful. It is a beautiful cover song of, oh god, I looked it up. What was it? Oh well, who cares? Anyway, Dear Wesley, let's go.
Well, hold on, I got a question. Somebody brought this up the other day, and I'll go into the Dear Wesley. There was a person that posted that they have a gay friend, and so they were conflicted, as you should be, about eating Chick-fil-A if you don't hate your gay friends. And the person was like, you know what, I'll give you what are they called in the old Catholic Church, the permission to sin, as long as you pay the church.
I know what you're talking
indulgences.
About. The indulgence, yes.
Basically, they told their friend, all right, fine, you have to just Venmo me $20 every time you eat Chick-fil-A. And they do, and they were like, listen, you shouldn't eat there, but if you do, you should send a gay friend $20, and maybe they'll grant you an indulgence.
I want to speak on that for a second, because there's a debate to be had about how to separate the artist from their art. Can you enjoy really good art by someone who is a really shitty person? Lovecraft.
You mean if Hitler did watercolors?
Lovecraft was a racist. The guy that made Earthworm Jim, I love those games, but he's a major homophobe. So can I still
what?
Yeah,
the Earthworm Jim guy is a homophobe.
Well,
majorly.
Here's the thing. Are you still giving them money?
Yeah.
Once you found out.
Well, I mean, no.
Exactly. You've already spent. This is the same thing with J.K. Rowling. A lot of people are like, "Oh no, I love those books. She's terrible." But I'm still, you know, and you can still love Harry Potter and love everything about it, and it is really fucking ironic that she's such a fucking turf, and so many fucking trans people like found themselves reading those books about, you know, kids who had been, you know, that had this own little world that they could escape to, and were magical and stuff. And that's, you know, it just really fucking breaks my heart.
That's a great allegory, but
J.K. Rowling is trash. Burn her to the ground. Like, we'll burn J.K. Rowling to the ground, and then we'll build a better J.K. Rowling with a steel frame and a sprinkler system and no transphobia, and it'll be fine. It'll be great. It'll be great. Also, Caitlyn Jenner. Let's do that with Caitlyn Jenner. It's Caitlyn Jenner loves hitting people with cars so much she's thrown the entire transgender community under the bus.
You know, I don't know why we remember Caitlyn Jenner.
Never forget, Caitlyn Jenner killed somebody.
I don't know why we remember Caitlyn Jenner as it was an Olympic athlete. We really should just remember Caitlyn Jenner as like an Olympic bus driver. For as many people as she has just run the bus over, like.
Oh, that's why they kept having her kill people in South Park. Like, every time she pulled up to pick up Mr. Garrison, she'd hit someone with her car.
I wish
buckaroos.
Yeah.
I
actually didn't know she killed anyone, so that's news to me. I'd never looked up anything about her. I had no idea.
She crossed the center line on a highway in California and full-on front-ended a like head-on collision with another car, killed a woman. I think it was a woman, but it's super duper ironic. So like last 2 Fridays ago, she announced, "Hey, I'm on board," or whatever the fuck her campaign slogan is. Like, we need a new California because we don't already have enough new Californias.
Way too many celebrities are running for office these days. That is terrifying.
Oh my fucking God, I know it. Anyway, but
Dwayne Johnson is an amazing person. Do not want him as a politician. He doesn't know what he's doing.
I don't want him as a politician. No. But that's all puff for his TV show. It's a TV show. It's like a framing device. It's all about like
that's how Trump started, though. Trump started because he wanted to make more money on The Apprentice, and they fired him for The Apprentice for his rampant racism. So he's like, well, I guess I'll just keep running then, because he can't just back out gracefully. He doesn't. His brand is that he's a winner, not a loser. He ruins his brand if he quits. And so he kept going, and then he won.
Yeah,
and we all lost.
She announced that she was running, and then like the next day, like TMZ caught her in the parking lot of like her Whole Foods or something, and they were asking her about different things, and she was like, you know, giving answers and stuff. And then they were like, well, what do you think about these, like, you know, trans athletes competing in sports in high school and college? And she was just like, no, I don't think, honey, that boys should be in girls' sports. And I'm sitting here going, okay,
that's very J.K. Rowling-ish.
That's
very turfish.
Okay. And then immediately, like, they're reporting on this, and then the next day she participated in a women's PGA Pro-Am. So I'm sitting here going, so it's okay for you. This is why you're a Republican.
Yep.
It's okay for you, specifically you, you.
I've heard
you're
the phrase.
The only person allowed.
I've heard the phrase, "It's okay, I'm okay, Jack, pull the ladder up." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I already got there. Fuck
I got mine,
else.
Jack. Fuck yeah.
Exactly.
No, and I had a coworker ask, they were like, well, what's the problem with Caitlyn Jenner? Like, why don't trans people like her? And I just went, because this coworker's black, and I said, Caitlyn Jenner is trans people's Candace Owens. And he goes, oh, and he got it. He got it.
Sorry, I knocked my mic out of the way just trying to clap for you like that.
No. It's but it's the exact same thing. It's we have Uncle Tom's, and now we have Auntie Caitlyn.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I like that.
There we go. She gets to be the name, the new Uncle Tom.
Yeah.
Aunt Caitlyn.
Yeah.
So
she's because Caitlyn Jenner
Karen
has not
of
always
transgendered
identified
women.
as her true self as a woman. However, she has always been a raging asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one more thing. I have a new segment that I'd like to start, which is kind of a complete aside. It's just called the Orange Man Sad, which is a there's a propaganda meme that goes Orange Man bad, where deplorables try to say, oh, you're all just a bunch of NPCs repeating the program. So anytime Trump does something, it's Orange Man bad. Well, I'm not going to argue against that because fuck it, he's gone now. Everyone agrees. Yes, Orange Man very bad. So I'm going to look at Orange Man sad. Let's look forward to the present day, where Trump just sort of wanders around Mar-a-Lago being a dotard and just like crashing weddings and bitching about the election results. In most recent Trump news, he has decided to quit his blog, which was supposed to be like this big thing where he can finally talk directly to the people, right? Turns out nobody cares to read it anymore. He's not news right now. And so all the news organizations out there were only mentioning his blog in the context of, oh, wow, it's getting like 1% the traffic that it got like a few months ago. What happened? No one goes there anymore.
It's basically the Those Muckrakers of blogs.
Yeah. Like just nobody cares.
Well, but it's also very telling, and I was watching
the blog.
I was watching Let's Talk Elections, and I think I shared that video with you guys. But like, if you didn't watch the video, like Let's Talk Elections, he points out, which is another YouTuber, by the way, if you're listening on wherever fine podcasts are sold, and also this one. They I don't know the guy's name. Let's Talk Elections said, this is really showing how like Twitter got Trump elected. Like, he already had a built-in audience. People could easily find it. And he goes, whenever I'm looking for, like, because they only took down like the office of President Trump.com, like that stopped posting, but there's also like 45.com or something like that. Like, he has a couple of like high-level domains that are specifically like branded to him, and all of those are doing really terribly. And it's because you have to Google search for them. People don't want that. And like Twitter is not Twitter. I don't think Twitter is banning any of the like the links, like they're just deleting the links whenever somebody tweets it or something like that. But it's not
wonderful,
and it's but it's just not, it's not got the reach that Twitter has got. And he doesn't have the audience. And it's also noteworthy that Twitter will auto translate, whereas his blog would not. So a lot of like Latinos for Trump and like other nationalists around the world, they don't have big dick special big boy Donald Trump to read anymore. And nobody's, but it really does show we got to break up the big tech companies. I mean, both Republicans and progressives and liberals don't want it, but progressives and leftists want it as well. Like, it's time. There's no reason for Facebook to also own Instagram. There is no reason. Like, that's just, it's monopolistic. It's it's a trust.
And
that's
it's getting worse.
And it's 100%. All those people that are
it's getting worse. They're all just like absorbing each other and getting bigger all the time.
What was it? DeSantis
and then soon we'll have the franchise wars, and every restaurant will be Taco Bell.
You know what? I'm okay with that as long as they continue to serve the same food, because I love Taco Bell.
Well, there's already Taco Bell KFC, so I guess that's fine.
Well, there's Taco Bell KFC Pizza Huts by your power combined. Yeah, because they're all owned by
Captain Planet.
Man, I'm never going to reach my goal weight, am I? I'm just going to have to go back to the doctor and be like,
no, you're not. No,
hey, doc, how long is it?
Yeah,
I need a stomach staple. Where do you want it stapled? My mouth. Shut.
Doc, how long till I get a pig heart? Can we go ahead and schedule that? Like, let's go ahead and figure out which parts are going to wear out first in my fat internal body, and we'll just go ahead and just put me on a payment plan, because I love some Taco Bell KFC. All right, so the Dear Wesley for today.
Yes.
So this, and I picked this one specifically because it kind of I think accentuates my problem with people who are not like pro pride. So they say, Dear Wesley, I recently met two lovely people who happen to be homosexual. However, as I got to know them, I soon began to dislike them. It seemed like they had to make it painfully obvious that they were gay. I felt like every other sentence they tried to squeeze in, quote, being a gay woman and various other things such as that. It made me very uncomfortable. I don't have an issue with gay people, but I wouldn't go as far as to say I support them. We're all human, and if you're gay, you're gay. Just keep me out of it, is all I ask. After this continued for a while, I decided to try and subtly hint to them that they were mentioning that they were gay far too frequently. As dumb as this person is, I can't imagine what their version of subtle is. So when that didn't work.
Their version of subtle?
I resorted to telling them my beliefs on the subject, and I was quickly resented, being called homophobic and unaccepting of them. Even though I clearly said I do accept them for their sexuality, I would
she said words. Okay.
I
didn't know that part.
Yeah, your actions don't matter. It's just what you say.
Exactly.
I would appreciate it if they didn't annoyingly mention it ever. Every few minutes.
Again. I'm cool with you being gay. Just don't remind me of it. I want to pretend like you were straight in my imagination.
Wesley,
also, could your wife wear like a top hat or something masculine?
Am I the asshole for this? They also added an update, and the update goes, I've gotten my answer to my question. More people agree that I am not the asshole. Feel free to discuss among yourselves. I don't care. I wish you the best.
Sounds like cherry picking and selective reading from other homophobes.
I kid you not about the could your wife wear a top hat thing. Before gay marriage was legalized in South Carolina, the station I work for got an interview with a lesbian couple who tried to apply for a marriage license, because part of the idea was that if we're denied, then we'll be part of the lawsuit, and we can go all the way to Supreme Court with this.
Right.
And they almost got the marriage license because one of the partners was, she was basically a twink. And they just thought that it's a scrawny dude and a curvy lady coming in to get their marriage license. They almost got the marriage license.
Beautiful.
Like her name, and like her name is like, it's one of those things, like her name was like Pam or something, Pat or something like that. And they just, South Carolina almost gave a gay couple a fucking marriage license because they assumed one of them was a guy.
That's almost a good story.
I'm sorry, but the Dear Wesley,
almost so close to being a good story. But
almost so close to being a good story. Yeah, I'm sorry, but anyway, the Dear Wesley thing.
The question I have is, what makes you think that you're not being offensive when you tell somebody like, hey man, it's cool if you're gay, but don't ever let it show, and I don't ever want to hear about it, but I still support you, but also don't ever be gay in front of me. Like,
it's also her point of view that they were talking about it too much. Also, I'm not sure that just being I feel like
some homophobes, whenever gay people speak, some homophobes, they don't hear words, they just hear, I am gay, I am gay, I am gay, I am gay. This couple was probably
I've never heard.
Like, oh, we took a vacation last year and it was super fun. Here's us on the beach in Cabo, like, and it was, you're shoving it down my throat, like.
Oh, you went on a vacation with a lady. That's so gross.
The rage this person was feeling as they were like, I can't believe I'm seated next to a homosexual couple.
Yeah,
like, that's just my fucking God. Well-meaning white people.
There's two words. There's two words that I think you already know you're in for a ride that homophobes use. The first one is when they say a homosexual couple. Like that's already, you're like, oh, this is gonna be good. Or as some of my elderly relatives like to say, they put the word "the" in front of marginalized groups, like the gays, like
I'm like, I do that all the time just to make fun of people like that.
Yeah. So when you just hear someone like, well, let me tell you about the gays, you're like, oh man, this is gonna be a ride right here. Like,
they've already categorized them in their head. They're not real people. This is a specimen that they're studying, like butterflies you tack up on a board.
And I'm gonna say, if I was part of a marginalized community,
that's funny, because the slur for gay people in Mexico is actually mariposa, which means butterfly.
That's horrible but sweet. Like,
it's basically like calling someone a fairy. That's what that means.
So,
like, I'm pretty sure the gay community in Mexico has picked that up and just run with it. Like, yeah.
So if you hear your old abuela be
butterflies
like,
are pretty.
well, is it el mariposa or la mari? Is it el or la?
It's la.
La. Yeah. If you ever hear your old Mexican grandmother start with like, the la mariposas, you're like, here we
go. But la in front of
it means the. I know.
You were saying the butterfly.
I didn't say she speaks Spanish well. She's already a homophobe.
Mexican grandmother. She doesn't speak Spanish. No, she was born an English speaker. She was raised in Little America. It's a neighborhood of Mexico City.
This is both related to everything and not. The other day I was out walking and a Christian person decided to start preaching in the middle of the rotunda, like very, very loudly through a boombox, and they were playing God, what song was it? I don't remember. Some church song. It was boomingly loud. So I was already trying to leave, but they were like megaphoning it even louder than that. And they saw me walking by and they're like, I see a member of the audience is not paying me any attention. And I'm like, no habla inglés, no habla inglés. As I'm walking by and they're like, you don't speak Spanish that well either, son. And that actually cracked me up. I did actually find that amusing, but I was just like, keep my head down, walk very straight away from
All
them.
I know
One of
is
the greatest things in the world are the street preachers who will come out for Mardi Gras in New Orleans. There are jazz bands that will walk up and down throughout the city and just drown them out, like completely surround them, playing like, you know, just fucking different kinds of music and stuff. But they'll just drown them out until they shut up and go away. And they'll set up somewhere else. And jazz
running
band
the
will
preachers
find
off, or the preachers running them off?
no, running the preachers off.
Okay, gotcha.
Jazz band is chasing the preachers off. It's
Nice.
absolutely fucking amazing. But I also love the
Old
ones that
Rugged
have
Cross.
the
That was the
sign.
song they were playing. If anyone cares, Old Rugged Cross. They were playing it so loud. Okay, never mind. I just remembered what it was.
That is a particularly long and slow, annoying gospel song. Just because it just comes. Yeah.
And now
Well,
imagine
I
it
think I saw a
ear-splittingly
video
loud
of
while
one
a guy
of them.
yells at you.
It was a jazz band, and they were playing "Born This Way" by Lady Gaga. Which that was just chef's kiss. It was fucking kings, all of them. That whole fucking 5-piece band, just fucking kings.
So
Weird Al has a parody of that called "Perform This Way."
the question is,
Yeah, he does, and it's fucking amazing.
how would Wesley address this? Am I the asshole?
Oh my God. It'd be like, oh, have you ever decided to stop acting so straight in front of them? Maybe they're just acting the way you behave. Do you ever walk around talking about your husband? Maybe you should stop doing that. You're rubbing it in their faces.
Because I got to tell you, a lot of times
be the change you want to see in the world. Oh.
there's a lot of times straight people talk to me about stuff that I don't care about. I'm going to say it. You know, I care about like children that are like related to me or like my friends' kids, but outside that, straight people, I don't give a fuck about your baby. Like just babies in the street, I don't give a shit. Don't tell me about it. Stop being so straight. Why are you putting your lifestyle in my face?
Yep.
You know. But yeah, overwhelmingly, this person
stop going to movies in public too. Like public dates is just wrong. It defies my beliefs. Stop doing that.
Like I said, and I stand by my statement. Monosexual lifestyles, nothing wrong with it. Do it in your own privacy of your own home. It's fucking disgusting. I don't want to see it in the street.
I gotta say though,
to my kids.
When I first moved to New York, I had a I call it like if you've been like locked in solitary confinement or locked in the Southeast for too long, sometimes you get what I call like Southern brain. Like it's just stuff in the background. I was on the subway and this
is a fun story.
Yeah, I was on the subway and there were these two dudes furiously making out. And my brain went like, the boy must be confused. He's making out with his friend. That's not his wife. Like that all went through my head.
Keep in mind, he had never seen gay people together before.
They're practicing kissing each other.
Yeah,
like
those two roommates, they must have tripped and their mouths and tongues must have fallen on each other. And like I had to snap out of it. I'm like, why is that in my brain? Why is that a fucking thing that would ever fucking, you know?
Like I said, because he had literally never seen it before.
I'd seen men make out just like, this was a furious, just like,
I feel like what you need to do, I have a Dear Wesley for this. Well, Peter, what you need to do to get it out of your head, just watch men make out more often. Or you just got to bring us some videos of it and watch it until it feels normal to you. Yeah, maybe come over here and give me a smooch. Oh.
I can't remember if that was the same night. I was at like a sold out show. And so they were seating people on the floor for this comedy show. Mm-hmm. And this black guy walks up to me. He's like, excuse me, would you mind like switching seats with my wife so that we could sit together? And I was like, sure, just point her out, because I'm like, I'm not sitting on the floor. Like if she has like a shit seat, I'm only trading for like an equal seat. And he points her out. And I swear to God, I almost said, I don't see her. All I see is white women.
Oh no.
That was like on its way from my brain traveling to my mouth. And I went, yeah, that's fine. Sure. Take it. You know what? Like fucking, you know, because I felt like he could read my thought. Like he's about to say he only sees white women. And then like later on at night, I'm like, why the fuck is that in my head?
Peter, not all black people have The Shining. Okay. Now that's racist. All right. Good Lord.
I wasn't talking to Scatman Crothers. You see, boy, what I've got's called The Shining, and I know you're racist as fuck.
You gotta stand on my head between 5 and 6. That's Willie's time.
Could there be anything worse than being a black like telepath, like especially like when Scatman Crothers was alive?
In the South, talking to Peter. Oh my God, that would be the worst.
Just like the worst thing ever. So yeah, those were my two Southern moments in New York, and thank God I think I've gotten that out of my brain.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah. So
Oh my god! Actually, oh god, I just remember where that was from. Venture Brothers. That was it. It was it was like Hank was like, oh, he must be a psychic. No, Dean, no, Hank. Not all black people have The Shining. That was just a movie. Like,
Oh, I miss the Venture Brothers so much. They're still making seasons, just like every 5 or 6 years, a new season will come out.
it just got canceled.
what?
Yeah, they're working on
How
it.
recent?
Apparently, Doc Hammer and what's his face, they're working on a movie. It's possible HBO will pick it up.
Oh, that
So
would be cool.
I hope so.
yeah, well, they've released like what's happening, and it's like a mysterious like Doc's new invention will either make or break venture industries. What's his name? Oh god damn it. Brock Sampson is off on a secret mission or something.
Is he working
and
for the Doc
boy
again, or
by a mysterious woman as the Monarch and Dr. and Mrs. the Monarch are going through a rough patch or something, and they're like, yeah, that's where we are with everything right now. So,
Well, that'll be exciting whenever that
but
comes
the Monarch?
out. Anything you guys want to
Yes,
plug?
yeah.
I think we're at that
because they're so
special
close
time.
to wrapping it up. Yeah. Speaking of wrapping it up,
Yes. All right. So,
It's
Pete,
Pride-
business
yeah.
Pride Month,
socials.
use protection.
I was going to say it's
Wrap
Pride
it
Month.
up.
Wrap them up. Everyone's giving out condoms. So this is your time. If you hate buying condoms throughout the year, this is the month to just get drawers full of condoms.
There you
If
go.
you-
There
If
you
you're
go.
someone that likes buying condoms or hates buying condoms, you should tune into Those Muckrakers, which you can find at iTunes, Spotify. You can find us on YouTube if you want to see videos of us and our backgrounds, which are sometimes animated, sometimes not. You can see a dog if you checked out the YouTube videos. But if you are on the SoundCloud, be sure to give us a like, give us a follow on YouTube, hit the bell.
Follow us on something, please. Tell us more that you'd like to hear about or things you'd like us to do to Wesley.
You can tweet us at Those Muckrakers on Twitter or thosemuckrakers@gmail.com if you'd like to send us your own Dear Wesley, and we can tell you if you are in fact the asshole. Pro tip, if you are talking about the gays, you probably are.
You're talking about anything, you're probably the
Yes.
asshole. Or you might be my grandma. It's hard to tell.
If you're Peter's grandma, you can write in to ask him all about his thoughts on religion. That works out so well.
No, grandma, I haven't found a good church up here yet. I'm still looking.
Yes.
No, and if you want to support us, you gotta do the thing. Got to buy books or something.
Yes. Dusk Belt 1 and 2 are both
still
out and
haven't-
available. You can buy
I still
physical
haven't read
copies.
them.
They're really good. Read the second one first. That one's the best one.
Second one first. And also, if you want to support us, but you don't know how to read, send us bars of gold to P.O. Box care of Wesley. We
Yes.
also accept green dot cards in amounts of $5, $15, and $25.
Just keep it under 10,000. You don't have to report it to the government.
Exactly. And remember, if you eat at Chick-fil-A or any other fast food restaurant, send us $20 every time you go.
I actually got kicked off Venmo recently, but you can well, why am I saying this? I'm straight. You don't have to send me money. There was a problem verifying my identity. They think I'm a terrorist. So they
I have literally seen people pay for drugs with Venmo.
They
Like, how did
suspended
you
my
kick
account,
off?
and they now said they are unable to unsuspend it, and they say I have to delete it and create a new one. I fought with them for months. I got
It's
kicked off
because-
Venmo.
It's because you used the fake name of a cartoon character. What is it again? Homer Simpson?
Anyway, you can Venmo or Cash
an
App
inside joke.
Bobby if you have to eat at Chick-fil-A. So at least maybe you're buying yourself an indulgence for supporting hate.
Yes. Yes. I'll consider giving you the mea culpa. Oh my goodness. All right. I need to poop. Bye, everybody.
GG. See ya. Happy Pride
All
Month.
right.